Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now #1 for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet, we realize that many people do not have satellite radio and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Motivated, gonna take it to the top. Motivated, highly motivated. Motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there. I went to the boss, he laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry, I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said,
oh, that's right, I'm motivated. Highly motivated. I'm excited about the opportunities and that we live in a great country, a great time, in spite of the recession, in spite of the problems, in spite of the issues. We live in a time where we can literally change our lives by our thinking. And I'm grateful to be able to be here to be with you today again. Welcome back for those who are joining us. And for those who are new, you're listening to the Willie Jolley Show across America, from border to border, coast to coast. We have a show that is designed to help you to live better, to do more, to be more, to achieve more, and to have greater health, wealth, and wisdom. I am honored right now. I've got one of those moments that I've been waiting and working on for a long time. I got a dear friend who I've known since I just about started speaking. He has been a mentor, an advisor, an encourager over the years, and I am so grateful for his friendship. Let me tell you who he is and about him. He is one of the top business and personal and professional success speakers in the world today. That is not a cliche. He is literally one of the top in the world. He has given seminars in every major country, every major city in America. He is an expert on a number of subjects: leadership, business strategy, sales, personal success. He started building his business over 20 years ago and has consulted with thousands of companies, including IBM, Ford, Federal Express, Hewlett-Packard, and the $1 Million Roundtable. He's written 55 books, and unbelievable, almost all of them have become bestsellers. He's produced over 500 audio and video learning programs. He has reached a new place now where he's doing even an online business growth program called the Business Growth Strategies. He lives in California, in the beautiful San Diego area, and he's married with 4 children. But I'm honored to call him one of my dear friends in the speaking industry, the one and only Brian Tracy. Brian, are you there?
I'm fine. How are you, Willie? Nice to talk to you.
It's good to be on with you, and thank you for taking time out. I'm grateful for you and glad. Well, you know, I've said it real as succinctly as I can. You are one of the top and the best and the brightest in self-help as well as business growth. And I wanted my listeners across America to hear your thoughts on how to grow their selves, their businesses, and their finances, and why it's important to be wealthy in America. So I'm going to first tell them a little bit about who Brian Tracy is and where he came from.
Well, thank you, Willie. I started off humbly, as most people do. I didn't graduate from high school, and I worked at laboring jobs. I Started off washing dishes, and then I worked in sawmills, and then I worked on farms and ranches, painting and putting up post holes and painting fences and feeding cattle and digging wells. And when I was 23 years old, I was an itinerant farm laborer, working on the farm during the day and sleeping in the farmer's barn during the night, getting up at 5 in the morning so we could get out there to get the first crop, get the crop in before the first frost. And I say that I was unemployed, unskilled, and at the end of the harvest, I was back on the market again. And so when I could no longer do anything else, I got into sales, like most of the people listening today. We joke, sales is a default profession. We back into it. Nobody ever gets into it going forward. We get into it when nothing else is going for us. So I got into sales, and I spun my wheels, and I knocked on doors. I worked on straight commission cold calling. I did this for months until I did something which changed my life, and it still has a great effect on me. I said, why is it that some people are more successful than others? I saw people who were younger than me and people who didn't seem to be any better than me making more money than me. I'll often say nothing will make you madder than to see people dumber than you making more money than you.
And that's the truth.
Oh, how could this be? And so I began asking people. I went to the top sales guy and I said, how come you're more successful than I am? How come you're making 10 times as much money as I am and you're not even working as hard? And he sat me down. He said, well, Brian, he said, selling is an art and it's a science. And if you want to make a lot of money in selling, you have to follow the formulas. And he explained to me that there's a logical formula of questions and answers to selling. And I almost died and went to heaven. I couldn't believe it. I've been going out there doing what I call the blah, blah sell or the babble sell, blah, 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 talking as fast as I could, trying to get people to buy my product. He said, no, that's not how you sell. He said, it's a logical 7-step process. And he showed it to me. And I went out and I started using his process. Turns out he'd been trained by a Fortune 500 company when he got out of college for something like 10 months. And he was trained in how to sell professionally. So I began to sell the way he was selling. Then I began to read books and listen to audio programs and go to seminars. And I literally went from rags to non-rags. I went from living in a crummy little one-room rooming house to having my own furnished apartment and flying around the world in jets and sports car and a pocket full of money. I couldn't believe it. I mean, in less than a year, my whole life changed when I learned how to do it. Well, what that did for me is it overwhelmed me with the realization that it's not your intelligence or your background, it's not your color, it's not your education, it's not your family. It's just simply doing things in the right way. And every single business or profession, including speaking, including writing books, including everything, there's a logical and orderly process that's already been discovered and used by hundreds of thousands and millions of other people, and you can do it as well. And that just changed my life.
Well, I'm ready to get. You done got me hyped up and humped up. What are those 7? What are the steps?
Well, in selling, in everything, and I found that in selling it's very simple. First of all, prospecting, which is finding qualified people to talk to and building rapport with them. And so how do you do that? Well, you do it by asking questions, by sorting prospects from suspects. So that's the starting point. The second point is building trust and credibility with people so that they will open up to you and talk to you, which you do by asking them questions about themselves and listening closely to the answers. You focus on building a relationship before you ever mention your product or service. The third step is to identify their needs accurately, to find out exactly what situation they are in that would cause them to want to buy your product or service. So as you notice, you've gone through 3 steps and you've never mentioned your product yet. The fourth step, now that you understand the customer situation and they like and trust you, is to explain to them how your product or service is the ideal solution for them, all things considered at this time. And the fifth step is to answer their concerns. What about this? What about that? Because people always have questions, concerns, objections, and so on. The sixth step is to get them to take action, to close the sale. And the seventh step is to take such good care of them that they buy again and recommend you to their friends. And then that loops you back into the start of the process. So you'll find that the top salespeople start off cold calling, and within a year to 3 years, all of their business is by referral and resale. And these people earn 10 times as much as average people selling the same product out of the same office to the same people under the same conditions at the same price. And I began to teach this same process that had transformed my life. And now all over the world, I go back and I meet people who are millionaires and multimillionaires who started off with me, broke, cold calling, just following the process. So when I got into professional speaking, I spun my wheels just like you did, everybody did, for 3 or 4 years until I found out there's a process to professional speaking. There's actually a process to speaking. You know, the critical thing about speaking, if you want to be successful as a speaker, is you have to give good talks.
Right.
There's no other way. There's no trick, there's no gimmick, there's no marketing technique, there's no special SEO program you can buy. What you have to do is you have to give absolutely excellent talks. And if you give an excellent talk, they'll not only book you again, they'll recommend you to others, and they'll give you testimonials. So there is a process, a 7-step process to giving really good talks. And, you know, I've written books and articles upon this, and one of the things I do now is I have a speaking academy, and I bring people to San Diego, and I take 12 people, and I work with them for 3 days intensively from dawn till dusk, and I take them from wherever they are into a whole new quantum level of speaking. So people literally transform, even professional speakers literally transform their effectiveness. Everybody who's in the class is just astonished at the transformation that takes place over 3 days with even professional speakers.
And let me ask you a question. Do you also have one for sales and for wealth building?
Well, the interesting thing is this, is that salespeople who go through this program, one of our sales, a guy named Joe, rough and ready guy from New Jersey, black leather coat, came through this course, and just last month, and he said on Monday, he went through it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On Monday, he went out and gave a sales presentation to a group and made a $30,000 sale. He said he could not believe the difference in the way people responded to him when he made his presentation professionally. Professional speakers go out and they make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a talk after they've taken this seminar. And
wow. Hold that thought, Brian. Hold the thought. I want to come back and I want to give people a way to get that information, as well as talk about some of your books and products, and talk about how they can transform their thinking to become wealthy in America, because that's what we want people to do. Stay tuned, everybody. You're listening to the Willie Jolley Show across America, and for sure, the best is yet to come.
What good is our friend if you cannot depend on them when you're in need?
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and if you're enjoying this information you're hearing on this podcast, I want to invite you to get even more great information on my new free gift page on my website. Go to wjspeaks.com and hit the All Access badge. On that page, you will find information and resources specifically designed to help you to have greater success. Free ebooks, music, all sorts of interesting and informational interviews from my XM show. I'm telling you, this is a great page. And why do I do it? Because I've learned that the more we give, the more we get. And the more we help other people to grow and go to the next level, the more we receive in our business. So we want to help you. Tell your friends about it. Go to Facebook and get my information. Go to my website, get my free resources, and get on wjspeaks.com and hit that All Access badge. It looks like a backstage pass. Click it. You'll get behind the scenes information to the special page to help you grow. All we want in return, all we ask is that you pass it on, because the more you give, the more you get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the E to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude.
It's about your attitude. 1 8-letter word that has such a big impact on your success or your failure. Attitude, not just about a disposition, but also about how you see the world, how you see life. Do you see it from a negative perspective, or do you see it from a positive perspective? It's your choice. It's about your attitude. See, my friend Keith Harrell wrote a book called Attitude is Everything, and he wasn't lying. Attitude truly is everything. It's about how you view things, how you perceive things, and how you go after things. Can you control the time? No. Can you control the weather? No. Can you control what other people say or do? No, no, no. You can only control you and your attitude. And your attitude to life determines your altitude in life. It's about your attitude. Oh, that's the truth. It's all about your attitude. And as you think, so shall you be. Well, we've got one of the great attitude teachers, one of the great sales teachers, one of the great speaking success teachers, one of the great leadership teachers on the line right now with you across America. And he's my dear friend, Brian Tracy. Brian, thank you for joining us today, buddy.
It's a pleasure. Now let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
I want to before we do that. You have a terrific newsletter. I want people to go to your website and get that. I think is one of the best in the business. Where can they get that?
Just go to briantracy.com and sign up for the free newsletter.
Okay.
And if anybody's already interested in the Speaking Academy,
yes,
just go
please.
to briantracy.com/Speaking Academy and fill in the application. We only take 12 people at a time. We work with about 3 or 4 groups a year, and they have to submit an application to make sure that this is really going to help them. We won't take people unless this is really going to have a positive impact on their income. So if a person's interested, go to briantracy.com/Speaking Academy, or just go to briantracy.com and sign up for our free newsletters.
Absolutely. We're going to talk more about some of those other products, too, because I've got some of my library that have had a profound impact on my thinking. Well, Brian, let's talk about building. You got a lot of things that will help people take control of their thinking and attitude. Let's talk about some of those ideas and what people can do who are...
Okay.
Yes.
Well, this is what I began studying. Once I got into sales, what I discovered, and this is really the most profound law of all, it's called the law of cause and effect. It was called the Aristotelian principle of causality. It was first deduced by Aristotle in 350 BC. And what he said was that everything happens for a reason, that we live in a universe that is governed by absolute order, and that there are no accidents or causeless events. Just because we don't know why something happened doesn't mean that there was not a reason for it. So everything can be explained. And this concept of cause and effect is the basis of the scientific method. It's the basis of all science, all research, all math, all mathematics, all wealth building, all success, all riches are all based on this. And the law is very much like the law of gravity, Willie. It's neutral. In other words, it is no respecter of persons. It doesn't care. The law doesn't care. It says that if you, Willie Jolley, will do what other successful people do, then you, Willie Jolley, will get the same success that they get. And if you don't, you won't. And the law doesn't care. And the world is full of people who think that it's something outside of themselves that determines their success. No, it's only what is going on inside of yourself. So this law of cause and effect led to this very simple conclusion, which I think is a great breakthrough thought, which is that thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. The thoughts you think are the causes of everything that happens in your life. The conditions of your life are a mirror image reflection of your thoughts. So if you want to change your outer world, you have to change your inner world. Jesus said, as within, so without. Right. The kingdom of heaven is within you. According to your faith, it is done unto you. In other words, these timeless truths have been repeated by the greatest thinkers of all time.
Right.
So we come back to this basic conclusion that you become what you think about most of the time. And the only thing in the world that you can control is what you think about most of the time. But if you take full control of that, you can control the whole rest of your life. And that was the turning point for me. I just couldn't believe it. So how do you change your thinking? If you change your thinking, you change your life. You change your thinking by taking in new inputs. You take in new ideas and new materials. You incorporate them into your thinking and your actions. And as a result, you get new results from your new behaviors. And there's no other way.
Right.
So that's how people go from rags to riches. When I first read this in Napoleon Hill's work, when I was a young man, he said that in order to be prosperous, you must develop a prosperity consciousness. And I didn't understand that for many years because I was poor at the time. And then I started realizing the more I thought like people who are successful, the more I got the same results. And it just changed my whole life. I couldn't believe it. It's the same thing but with you and I.
I love that because you're right on. As a man thinks, so as he is, and your input determines your output. And you have said that so wonderfully that change your thinking and you'll change your life. And you've done it through your books and your products and your materials, and literally, folks, I'm telling you, he has built millionaires, and I would dare venture a couple billionaires through his career by just helping people to see that the principles work for everybody if you will work the principles. Am I right, Brian?
Absolutely. And in fact, that one of the billionaires written up in Forbes magazine last month, one of the richest people in the world, worth $1.9 billion. I had a personal conversation with him a couple of years ago when I spoke for him. He said that basically my ideas, when he stumbled across my ideas, he was a yoga teacher. Now, I don't know if you can make less money than being a yoga teacher.
Right.
He was a yoga teacher, and when he listened to my material, he transformed his life. Today, he's one of the richest men in the world, and he very honestly attributes his whole success and the success of his business to applying the things that he learned from me. It's a great compliment.
Absolutely, great compliment. Now, what do you tell people? What are some of the things that they can do? You already said that they got to change their inputs and what they're reading, what they're listening to. What are some of the things and of course, one of the big ones, of course, is goals. And so let's kind of jump in on thinking and goals and how that could transform people's lives.
Okay, well, here's what we find. If you become what you think about, what is it that the most successful people think about? Now, fortunately, about 350,000 people have been interviewed over a 22-year period and asked, what do you think about most of the time? And so we know what the top 10% of people think about most of the time. They find that at every level, if you take the lowest 10%, we call it decile, lowest 10%, next 10%, all the way up, they all have different thinking styles. What do people in the bottom think about? They think about victimization and woe is me, and everybody else is to blame for my problems. What do the top 10% of people think about? They think about what they want and how to get it most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they think about. You see, your life is determined by what you think about most of the time. Not what you think about occasionally, but what you think about most of the time. So the top 10% of people always think about what they want, their goals, and how to get it. And so I teach people, I say the most important word you can learn is the word how. All top people are always asking how. How can I solve this problem? How can I get over this obstacle? How can I achieve this goal? And when you ask the question how, it forces you to take responsibility for your own life. It forces you to think creatively, to think in terms of actions you can take. So asking this question how. So you start off, and then we start off, and I say there's a series of orientations that people have. There's certain ways of thinking that the top 10% of people have. And they're very much like learning a new word for your vocabulary or learning a new language. What you do is you simply learn the word and the word of meaning, and then you practice the word in your life until it becomes a part of your vocabulary.
Say that one more time. Say that again, because I didn't quite get that. Say that one more time.
Well, if you want to think like top people think, first of all, you learn how they do it, and then you practice thinking that way until it becomes an automatic way of thinking. You wake up in the morning, you look at your life, and this is how you think. Because everybody who thinks a particular way today at one time did not think that way. And now they do, and as a result, they accomplish 5 and 10 times as much as other people. So there's about 6 or 7 ways that top people think that are learnable techniques. And I've taught these to people, and they literally say, this changes your life. Your life is completely different when you start to think the way top people think. You start to get the results that top people get.
Absolutely. So what are some of the ways that top people think?
Well, number one, now this is the top way, is the top 10% of people are future-oriented, Willie. They think about the future most of the time. They think about where they're going most of the time. They think about their goals and their dreams and their visions most of the time. So one of the exercises I have put people through is I say, imagine that you could wave a magic wand and that you could make your future perfect in every way. If that were the case, I call this idealization. Create your ideal future. If that were the case, what would your ideal future look like? And how would it be different from today? So this is called back from the future thinking. We project forward 3 to 5 years, and we say, if your income was perfect in 5 years, how much would you be earning? If your family life was perfect, if your health was perfect, if your financial situation, the amount you had in the bank was perfect, how would it be different from today? And then, what one action could you take immediately to begin moving in that direction? Now, this is so important because the number one reason that people fail, Willie, is they may have ideas and hopes and dreams and fantasies, but they don't take action. They've always got a reason not to take action today. So what we do is we say, all right, what one action could you take immediately to begin moving yourself in the direction of your ideal future? And then take that one step. And so that's the starting point. All leaders, by the way, are future-oriented. All top people are future-oriented. They think about the future most of the time. Now, the interesting thing is, as you think about the future and your ideal future, it automatically triggers inspirations, ideas, imagination, insights. You start to attract people into your life that can help you to move ahead faster. Your whole life changes when you start to develop a clear, vivid, exciting picture of the future that you want to create for yourself.
Hold that thought, Brian. Woo, I love this. Folks, you're listening to Brian Tracy on the Willie Jolley Show. We'll be right back. Stay tuned for the best is yet to come.
I always kept my dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed, or how many children got snatched, or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolley TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose.
Sometimes some rain's gonna fall, and everybody's house sometimes trouble will call. But when trouble stops by, you can sit there and cry, or you can make up your mind. You're gonna stand up and fight. Hey, people, listen closely to the sound of my voice. Success in life is never due to chance, but to choice. You choose to go on.
You got to keep kicking. You got to keep trying. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep striving for the goals and dreams that you have within you. If you can start to believe that they are within you, that they are possible, you can transform your life. This week, I'm grateful that 20 years ago, I quit my job and I started out on my speaking business this last week, and I thought about it. And what did I learn? I learned that you got to persist, you got to have a vision, and you have to be driven by your goals. And I'm grateful for one of the people who inspired me over the years is on the phone with me today, my good friend and my dear brother in the speaking business, but also a good friend who has been a great insight and influencer in me. His name is Brian Tracy, the one and only Brian Tracy. Thank you, Brian, for being on, buddy.
It's a pleasure, my friend.
Now, before we go back into the content, because you're a content-rich guy, let's direct people where they can go to get information on your website. And tell me about your latest product. I want people to go and buy, because you've got 1 million products, but one that you think might be of help to some entrepreneurs, and people who want to create wealth.
Well, I would suggest people just go to briantracy.com, because we've created programs for business owners, for salespeople, for individuals, and they're packages of programs that are unconditionally guaranteed for a year, but they're the most popular and most helpful programs. They save people years of hard work in getting to the same level of income or success. So just go to briantracy.com and just stroll around, sort of like the supermarket, and see if you see anything that you like.
Oh, you'll find some folks. I'm telling you. My wife is she's a big fan of Brian Tracy's work, and she loves to give away his books to friends and family members and clients, and so she just orders them in bulk and says, "Here's a great book for somebody to read and something to inspire you." Also, there's a sales guy I know who works here in a radio station in D.C. who makes it a point to listen to Brian Tracy on his way to work every day. And so I will say he told me now he wakes up and he sees me on TV at 6:39, and then he goes in the car and listens to Brian Tracy. So he got a 1-2 punch. I like that. Well, anyway, we're talking to Brian Tracy, and he was talking about how the top 10% of those who are achievers are future-oriented. And they think about the future most of the time. And that creates ideas, insights, inspirations, and other thoughts that will help them to achieve that goal. Isn't that right, Brian?
Yes, absolutely. Now, the second orientation that top people have is they're goal-oriented. So you take your ideas, your vision, and there's a basic rule. You know, you've heard of visualization. There's 4 parts of visualization that are not taught. They don't teach it in the secret because they don't know it.
Okay.
But number 1 is vividness. The greater vividness or clarity you have of your ideal future life, the faster it comes into your life. The second of all is duration. The longer you can hold the picture in your mind, the faster it comes into your life. The third is intensity, or the emotionalization. How much emotion or excitement or passion do you have for your future vision? That determines how fast it comes into your life. And the fourth is frequency. How often can you replay this exciting picture on your mind? Well, so when they talk about visualization, what they do is most of them, just because they don't know these they miss this completely. They say, "Oh, just visualize your ideal future," but that's like saying, be happy, think happy thoughts. It's not enough.
Right.
So once you have this clear vision of your future, then you boil it down into goals, and goals are, as you have taught, specific written goals and plans with step-by-step ways of achieving them. Nobody would think of going on a shopping trip to the grocery store or on a vacation without making a checklist of details. Here's what I'm going to do first and second and third and so on, and you follow the checklist. I've produced more than, as you say, 55 books, more than 500 audio and video programs, and people say, Darren Hardy of Success Magazine was telling me, he said that's the equivalent of one a month for 30 years.
Absolutely.
How can you produce so much stuff? And the answer is I use a checklist. I write down the steps, and I follow the steps. If you have a recipe for producing a book, a tape, a course, a seminar, and so on, and you follow the steps, you can produce 10 times as much as the average person who's just throwing themselves at it like a dog chasing a passing car.
Absolutely. I love that, because you're right. When you make a checklist and a plan how you're going to get from point A to point B, you do it so much more effectively and efficiently, and you get things done, getting things done. And many people, I know many of you who are listening, you're struggling. You procrastinate. You don't get things done. You start on a project. You don't finish it. And part of the reason is because of these points that Brian has brought up so wonderfully, is that it must be vivid in your mind, have duration, intensity, frequency, and then start a checklist. Make it specific. Lead to those goals. Goals. I love your goal setting. You have a product called Goals, and it's fantastic.
That's true. I've got a program called The Power of Clarity. I've got a goal-setting book. I've got a goal-setting guide. These things just save people years of hard work.
So first orientation is future-oriented, then goal-oriented.
Goal orientation, right. Uh-huh. So I'm going to give you guys an exercise. I was speaking to 16,000 people yesterday in Seattle, and I gave them this exercise. And this exercise is on YouTube, by the way. It's used worldwide. It's called the 10-goal exercise. And it's very simply this, is make a list of 10 goals you'd like to accomplish in the next year or so, and then take this list and imagine you could have any goal on that list within 24 hours. Put a circle around that goal, and then write it on a clear sheet of paper at the top and say, I achieved this goal by this date. Very simple, powerful, positive personal statement. I achieved this goal by this date. I earned X number of dollars by December 31st, 2011. Then you make a list of everything that you could think of that you could do to earn that amount of money, and then you organize the list into a plan, and then you take the first step, and then you do something every day. Now, this is the most important thing of all. pick your most important goal, make a list of activities to achieve it, and do something every day. If you will do that, you will transform your life within 12 months. You will literally move into a whole new category of people. And this is true. I've taught this in 56 countries, Willie. People literally go from rags to riches with this very simple system.
Hey, let's go over it one more time. Make a
All
list.
right.
Make a list of to 10 goal exercises. Make a list of 10 goals you want to achieve in the next year, and
Right.
then write.
And then imagine that you could wave a magic wand and you could achieve any one goal on that list. Which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on your life? Usually it's a financial goal, because if you can achieve the financial goal, you can get everything else.
Right.
Put a circle around that goal, move it, and write it down at the top of a clean sheet of paper. I achieved this goal by this date. And then make a list of everything you could do to achieve the goal, and then take action on your list and do something every day. So it's very simple. Choose the one goal that can have the greatest positive impact on your life. Make a list of everything you could do to achieve it. Take action immediately. Literally lift your head up from the page and take action immediately, and then do something every day. This formula is so powerful, it transforms people. It takes people literally from rags to riches in no time at all. And suddenly everything starts to happen. You trigger the law of cause and effect. You trigger the law of attraction. You trigger the law of expectation. You trigger the law of belief. You trigger all the mental laws that suddenly start your life to transform in every way, and you start to move more rapidly towards your goal, your future vision, and it starts to move more rapidly toward you.
Incredible. That, folks, this is powerful, powerful information that will impact your future and your finances. And I've told you, if you're listening, for those who are serious, who are new, let me tell you, this is what I've been saying to my folks for the last few years. It's important to create wealth. And why is it important? Because it gives you options on your health care, on your family finances in terms of where you live, on your children's education. And Brian is giving you the down to the moment impacting statements that get you to these places. This is incredible. Again, I want everybody to go to BrianTracy.com, BrianTracy.com. Look around, check around, walk around, hang out, join his newsletter, and look for some of the products that he has, as well as some of the coaching and options and seminars that he has, and maybe even when he's coming to your city, because I know he goes to a number of cities over the year and does his seminars, and I have been to them. In fact, he brought me up on stage when I was a new speaker. I'll never forget you for that, Brian. I was a brand new speaker. He said, there's a young guy who's tearing up the speaking industry, and I want y'all to meet him. And he brought me up, and so many people talked about how that had an impact on them, and my career in the Washington area was helped to be launched by that. Between him and Les Brown, I think they're two of my greatest friends and supporters. Well, we've got more to come. Stay tuned, everybody. I've got Brian Tracy, and we've got a few more ideas to share with you. I'm telling you, this will change your life. Tell Lottie, Dottie, and everybody to turn on their radio, because you're listening to Willie Jolley across America, and for sure, the best is yet to come.
If you need me, you can call me. What good is a friend if you cannot depend on them when you're in need? Said you need a friend who'll be there thick and thin, and you know be a friend indeed. You can only call me.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs, because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it, because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friends said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get until you try it. So you might as well live life to the fullest. Give it your best shot. You might as well sing like you don't need the money. Love like you'll never get hurt. Dance like nobody's watching. Put your whole heart in it if you want it to work. I hope you dance. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but you never lose that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. And God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you 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 dance.
I hope you dance. I hope you live all you have to live. I hope you prosper. I hope you will maximize your gifts and do all you were giving, all your God-given abilities. I hope you just play full out. I hope you dance. Don't worry about the fact you might not dance well. Don't worry if you don't sing well. Sing. I don't care if you can't hold a tone. Sing anyway. Because I want you to maximize your potential. I want you to live life to the fullest. By the way, that music is taken from my Money Making Music and Motivation package. You can go to williejolly.com and get the either the MP3s, all the music you hear on the out and in of each segment is taken from that package. You can get it on your MP3, or you can get the whole package, which includes my daily radio shows, the Motivational Minutes, as well as a CD and a music and a DVD of me speaking and me singing with Gladys Knight. So you'll enjoy that, and a book in that package. So you'll get that. Also, as I mentioned earlier, last week, I celebrated my 20th anniversary speaking, and we're doing a special that if you just go to my website and send me an email, say, I want the free gift, we'll send you a free gift for everybody just to celebrate. We'll send you one of my songs, a highly motivated song, as well as the interview I did with Bob Johnson, the billionaire, Bob Johnson. But you got to say, I want the song and the interview, and we'll send it to you. Well, my guest today is one of my buddies and one of my people I have high regard and respect for. His name is Brian Tracy. You all know him from his success seminars, his success lessons, his thoughts that have impacted people. I'm grateful for his friendship. I'm grateful for what he has done, because he thinks he's just a teacher, but I believe he's bigger and greater than that. He's a life changer, because so many people have had their lives changed by his thoughts, his words, his demeanor, his model. And I'm just grateful for his continued impact in the world, and I'm grateful for his overcoming some health challenges, and he's going to be here a long time because he got a lot to say. Thank you, Brian, for being with us.
Pleasure, Wally. It's a pleasure, Willie. Thank you very much.
Anyway, look here. We got to get some more stuff to these folks because you've just given so much stuff. You've consulted and coached. Folks, again, go to BrianTracy.com. Brian, what's the latest book? What's the latest product? Give me some information.
Well, my latest book is called Full Engagement, which is it's basically aimed at anybody who manages other people. But one of the things I wanted to talk about in the time that we have is you talk about wealth creation.
Yes.
Well, there's only one way to create wealth. I talk about this all the time now. I ask people, what is your most valuable financial asset? And people mutter, well, and I tell them, your most valuable financial asset is your earning ability. It is your ability to earn money. Now, what is your ability to earn money? Well, it's your ability to get results that people will pay you for. Get results that people consider to be valuable. So what is your goal in life? It is to create value. It's to add value. It's to be more valuable. Now, what you have to do then, if you want to achieve wealth, one of the questions I ask people is, how many people in this audience work on straight commission? Well, not more than 10 or 15% of people raise their hands. I said, well, the fact of the matter is that everybody here works on straight commission. Well, what does that mean? It means you get a slice of the value that you create. You get a percentage. And sometimes it's a little, sometimes it's a lot. Bill Gates works on commission. Larry Ellison works on commission. Warren Buffett works on commission. Everybody gets a percentage of the value that they create. So if you want to increase your income, you have to increase the amount of value that you create, which leads you to asking several questions is, who is the person or persons I need to create value for? If you're working at a job, then you need to create more value at work. You need to ask every single day, how can I increase my value to my company today? How can I be more valuable? You know what drives me crazy is people who want to be financially successful, but they want to do as little work as possible at work. They're always wasting time, goofing off, coming in at the last minute, leaving at the first minute, playing with the internet, reading the paper, socializing, and they can't understand why their lives don't get any better. The fact of the matter is all successful people are laser focused on creating value. So that you always have to ask yourself, what are the most important results that I can get from my business that can create the most value for my company? And you've got to be single-focused on that. If you're in the Bible, it says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Well, that means a person who's thinking of two or three things, doing work and goofing off, accomplishes nothing. So the most important thing is keep asking. And if you're not clear, go to your boss and say, boss, what's the most valuable thing I can do around here? And whatever your boss tells you, not only do that, but do it really, really well and do it all the time.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Be excellent. I have a new book called An Attitude of Excellence, and that's one of the
perfect.
Attitude of Excellence. Be excellent. Give more value. I was telling my nephew last night. He said, "What's the secret to success?" I said, "If they pay you $1, give them $1.50 worth of work." And,
Absolutely.
And you always to develop a reputation for excellence, it will pave a path for you down the road. Am I right about it?
Absolutely. Go the extra mile. What is so hard for people to understand about this? They think that if they do the least, they're going to get ahead. No. There's a wonderful line from Edison. He said, all things come to those who wait, but only what's left over from those who hustle.
That's absolutely right.
Isn't that good?
That is absolutely right. And it makes a difference. So you give more than you're paid to give. You do more than you're paid to do. You go further than you're expected to give. And then things start to come your way. Isn't that right, Brian?
Absolutely. Go the extra mile. It's always been do more than you're paid for. What you're saying has always been the key to success. And you know something? It's like you're in a race, and everybody is strolling, and you decide to pick up the pace. You'll find there's no competition. As Jim Rohn says, no competition at the top of the ladder. The competition's all at the bottom. What you do is you pick up the pace. You start to put in more than you're getting out, and you put in more and more. You come a little earlier. You work a little harder. You stay a little later. You don't waste time shooting the breeze with your co-workers. You just focus on generating more results. The other thing is that you've got to keep on learning, keep upgrading your skills. I'm working on a book that's coming out next year. It's called Earn What You're Worth. And it's based on this whole concept is that each person has the ability to be earning 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as they're earning today. And how do we know that? Because there's all kinds of people around you who are earning that amount of money, and they all started off earning less than you. Now they're earning way more than you. And what did they do differently? Is they focused on really developing themselves, learning the critical skills necessary to make a bigger and more valuable contribution.
Wow. I love it, folks. I'm telling you, grow yourself. That is why I bring these guests on this show every week, because I talk about the fact that if you will get your mind filled with the pure, the powerful, and the positive, you get the best thinkers, it will profoundly impact your life. And I'm telling you, for those of you who listen to my dear friend out at Harley Davidson, I want to say howdy to you, and the people over at BET, the people across America at the different companies I've spoken for, Ford and GM, who say, I listen every week. I am grateful for you because this will transform your thinking. But the entrepreneurs, what do you say to entrepreneurs about wealth building, Brian?
Well, the key to wealth building as an entrepreneur is to find a way to create value. One of the things, we have a program called the Total Business Mastery. It's a 3-day program we give here in San Diego about 3 times a year, always full. And in this program, what we do is we take you through the 10 critical things that you have to do to be a successful entrepreneur. And if you miss one of these things, you can underachieve and very often fail. You know, most businesses go broke. By 80 to 90% of new businesses go broke. And why? It's because they're missing one of these 10 critical factors. And once you have these 10 factors in place, we had a guy come through. He's the head of a family business in shipbuilding and ship repairs, and the business was about to go broke after 32 years. And he came through our program. He said he scraped up his last dollars. He came through as his last hope. After 2.5 days, he walked out of this program a totally different person. Steel in his spine, as we say, and fire in his eyes. Within 1 month, he turned his business around. He drove sales up 42% in 30 days. He said he transformed his business because he had inherited the business. He started off when he got out of school. He had never been given any business instructions, and so there he is. You know, if all you do is all you're doing, then all you get is all you're getting. All he could do was rehash and do what he was doing in the past. He didn't know what to do. When he walked out of that course, he was a totally different man.
Wow. You said there were 10 steps to this?
There's 10 steps.
Okay, hold us. Brian, I know we wanted you for just a couple segments, but can you do one more segment and give those 10 steps?
I'll give you 3 of the 10.
Okay, hold on then. Hold on. We got to take a quick break, and you can give us the 3 steps, and then we'll be out. Okay? Hold on a second. All right. You believe within your heart, you know that no one can choose. All right, folks, you got to believe, you got to believe, you got to believe. I got one of the great thinkers and believers in life on the line with me. His name is Brian Tracy. Y'all have been changed today. I know you have. And I want everybody to go and get his products. We've got millions of listeners out there who want to change their lives. Now's the time. Get this product. I'm telling you, Brian Tracy got products and services and ideas and thoughts that will transform your life. And Brian, just direct them to wherever you want to direct them on your site. Also, the Wealth Building Conference. Tell them about the couple conferences so they'll know about those.
Well, the program called Total Business Mastery is 2.5 days. You work with me intensively in a workshop setting with a workbook with every single word written out. And you walk out with a complete new business plan that transforms your business, and we unconditionally guarantee it. I think it's $2,000, and that includes 2 people, and we unconditionally guarantee it. So if you're not happy with the seminar, you can give your materials back and leave at the end of the seminar. But we've never had a request for a refund. People literally are blown away by this program because it takes my 30, 40 years of work with more than 10,000 small and medium-sized businesses and condenses it into 10 points. So let me give you 3 of the points that people learn. Number 1 point is you've got to have a great product or service to start with. This is the major factor that's holding up most business people, Willie, is their product is a me too, average, as good as some, not as good as others, and they break their backs trying to sell the damn thing, and you can't sell it unless it's a great product.
Absolutely.
And every product can be made into a great product, and no product starts as a great product. So it's really, you and I started off as real mediocre speakers.
Right.
And by working on ourselves for 10 or 15 years, we became great products.
Right.
It's the same thing with any product or service, including donuts or anything else. The second thing is you've got to have a great marketing plan. And a great marketing plan is something that brings you a steady, predictable stream of interested prospects. And third of all, you've got to have a great sales plan which converts those prospects into customers on a regular, predictable basis. Now, there's 7 more that we don't have time to talk about, but if you don't have the jelly in the jelly donut, which is a great product to start with, everything else is a waste of time.
Absolutely.
And so we show you how to make your product, how to find or how to develop, how to create, how to make your product a great product in the hearts and minds of your customers. If you can do that, which is what transforms businesses, if you can do that, in no time at all, your business explodes.
Absolutely. Now, how about with the speaking boot camp or whatever it's called? Tell us
I call it Brian Tracy's Speaking Academy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-day intensive program. It's given about every 3 months. The next one is July 14, 15, 16, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then after that, it's September 8th, 9th, and 10th. And what you do is you come in, and I work with you, and a total of 12 people, 11 others, with a video camera, and for 3 intensive days, we work with you to produce a beautiful signature talk, and then we take you into our studios, which are in the same offices, and we actually shoot you on this talk, which would be worth a fortune if you went to a television studio. We edit the talk, and we give it to you so you can put it onto your website. You can use it for promotional purposes. You can send it out on DVDs. So you actually have your signature talk promoting or selling $100 per person to attend. That includes all the materials and everything else. And you just really walk out completely different with your total signature talk, studio produced, ready to go on your website.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Any other things you want to tell people that they can take full advantage of? Because we've got a lot of people who want to grow and who are willing to invest in themselves. So,
the bottom line is this: is that if you really believe in yourself and your ability to succeed, invest in yourself all the time. Invest time. Invest an hour to 2 hours a day in yourself, getting better at what you do. Invest time in improving and upgrading your skills, and invest money in yourself. Reading, listening to seminars, or listening to audios and going to seminars. A seminar can save you 5 or 10 years of hard work. I was at a seminar yesterday, I told you, in Seattle, speaking to 16,000 people. And this gentleman came up to me. He said he went to my personal development seminar. We called The Power of Personal Achievement 3 times in a row. He said, today he's a multimillionaire. He said, his eyes just shine. He said, I remember that seminar. He said, I still have the notes. It changed my life forever. This guy's a multimillionaire advisor to $1 companies. He's successful. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He said, that seminar changed my life. I was struggling, literally going nowhere with my life. So invest in going to high-quality, intensive seminars that transform your life and save you years of hard work in getting to the same level.
My last question for you is this, Brian. You have done this, and you, as you said, started with humble beginnings. But you have literally transformed the lives of millions of people, and you've built a wealthy company that is impacting people around the world. I know you were over in Australia. I know we talked about the event I did for, I think it was New Ways, and I understand you just blew them away. I was there the year before you, and I hear you just blew them away. And how do you say to people who may be struggling with the recession, with the economy, I don't have the right skills, I don't know people. You did it. What do you say as a closing thought to people just to say, hey, you can do it?
Well, number one, this is the turning point in every person's life, is say to yourself, I am responsible. I am responsible for my own life. If I want things to change, it's up to me to change. There have always been tough times, but you know the old saying, tough times never last, but tough people do.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing is to say is that nothing can get me down. I am responsible for my own life. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And stop weeping and crying and moaning, because I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people going to go through a lot of difficulties in the months and years ahead. We've spent our society basically into the ditch. However, there's still going to be people who will survive and thrive, and you darn well make a decision you're going to be one of them. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, go out there and kick some butt.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. Folks, I'm loving this. This is Brian Tracy. Go out and kick some behind. Go kick the butt of those folks who tell you it's not possible. All the people who said you couldn't. And speak good into yourself. Brian has given you just incredible information today. And I'm just grateful for him. Brian, you are a gentleman and a scholar. And I'm grateful for your friendship.
Thank you, Willie. Willie, you have a great day. I love you, my friend.
I love you, buddy, and best to your family. And I'll look forward to staying in touch with you. And anything I can do, you don't hesitate to call me at any time.
Thank you, my friend.
All right. God bless you. Thank you. Wow, folks, what an incredible interview we've had today with my friend Brian Tracy. I'm telling you, this is one for the books that you can start to get powerful information. He's told you about it, setting goals. You know, we had a whole session a few months ago about the power of setting goals, and I went over some of the things I've learned from great teachers like Brian on setting goals. And I hope that if you didn't get it, that you'll stay in touch with us, and we'll maybe send you some of the newsletters. We've got some newsletter. In fact, I want everybody who's listening right now, everybody who's listening who's not on my newsletter, I'm writing columns and sending out information to help you grow, and it's free. So, you know, free is a great word. Go to williejolly.com, sign up for the newsletter. Also, we've got our Wealthy Ways Network. Our Wealthy Ways Network is our newest offering where you can get a weekly message that will empower and inspire you, as well as daily 1-minute motivational messages that will keep you going. So we've got some of the greatest thought leaders, and we want to make sure people get access to those thoughts, because as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your thinking is changed by your inputs. Your inputs determine your outputs. So I'm excited about this opportunity that you have had today to be on and listen to this, and I am grateful for my friend Brian Tracy, and I'm grateful for all the other fantastic guests we've had. You know, for those who are new to listening, let me just give you a rundown of some of the people who have changed our lives on this show. Today we had Brian Tracy. Of course, you know I've had Les Brown, and I want you to keep Les in prayer. He's had some health challenges, but keep him prayed up, and he's going to be fine. We've had Stedman Graham. And in fact, if you go to my website, you might even get, I think we got one of the interviews from Stedman playing presently. We've had Damon Johns from the Shark Tank. We've had Bob Johnson, B. Smith, Mark Victor Hansen, the Chicken Soup Man. We've had Michael V. Roberts, the billionaire. We've had him on a couple times. We've had Dan Burris, the thought leader from Future and Techno Trends. We've had Tracy Lynn, the extraordinary jewelry lady. We've had some of the best and brightest thinkers in the world on this show. And every week, I don't know about you, but I take notes like crazy while I'm doing this interview. I am amazed at the great information that we are given. And even though some of it I know, some of it I teach, I still hear it. I actually wake up in the mornings now or I TiVo my message and my segment on television and listen to it. And I just did the segment, I recorded it maybe 2-3 weeks earlier. But I listened to it because faith cometh by hearing, and I'll be reminded, okay, be excellent today, or give your best shot today. Go a little harder today. Go a little further today. I don't care how much you worked yesterday, you can do a little better today. How can you better your best? And those are kind of messages that I'm sharing with people because they have an impact. And even though I gave that message, I'm still listening to it over and over again because as a man thinketh, so as he is, your inputs determine your outputs, and you can transform your thinking by transforming your life, and that will impact the rest of your future. What are you reading? What are you listening to? I want to encourage you to get the books that you've heard on the show. Get my books. It only takes a minute to change your life. A setback is set up for a comeback. Turn setbacks into greenbacks. Chicken Soup for the Christian Soul. If you're dealing with grief in your life, you've lost a loved one, get that. And An Attitude of Excellence, which you can only get on my website. And then if you've got young people, get my youth video, Dare to Dream, Dare to Win, and get my money-making music so you can be inspired. Thank you to Brian Tracy for being on today. Go to his website at briantracy.com for his products. I will talk to y'all next week. Have a great day, great week. God bless you. Remember, the best is yet to come.
Trust in you, Lord.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.